Hi, my name is Eric Gregory. I'm an ATCA product manager here at Radisys. And today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about our ATCA 4.0 platform. As most of us have heard or even read about, there's an onslaught of 4G wireless coming down the pipe rather quickly. This is going to enable the delivery of mobile video and video to landline systems for that matter. This obviously has a huge knock-on effect on the type of platforms that network equipment providers will actually build upon, obviously moving from 10 gig into 40 gig. Around 2007, 2008, a majority of the systems that were being deployed or on which systems were starting to be built, primarily 10 gig or Zowie-based systems. Starting around 2010, you'll start to notice there's a transition. Those 10 gig platforms will still be out in the network, but new systems or new network elements that are being built will start to look towards 40 gig to be able to absorb this mobile video and video onslaught that'll be coming. We're extremely pleased to be announcing our ATCA 4.0 platform. Components that are part of that platform include a 40 gig switch, our next gen 40 gig chassis with some improved capabilities. Now there's three key components, some fairly obvious, some not so obvious. The first, of course, is the obvious. That is the 40 gig capability on both the chassis and on the switch itself. The next is backwards compatibility. We have a tendency in the high-tech industry to always look forward. In this particular case, we're going to have to make sure that we take care of the blades that are already in place, as well as have the capability of moving forward with 40 gig. And finally, there's no one out in high-tech that I know of today that can actually deliver everything on a platform. So we'll be rolling in our ecosystem capability as well to deliver a true platform. So those are the three key requirements for the 40 gig platform. So now let's take a look in depth at each one. First is the 40 gig platform itself. As I mentioned, it's made up of a switch and of the chassis. Within the switch, obviously we have to have the capability to deliver 40 gig onto the backplane. There's an underlying requirement behind that as a result of wanting to use 40 gig on the backplane, I have to have the capability of delivering high density I/O into the switch itself. The other key component of our ATCA 4.0 platform is, of course, our next generation chassis. Again, two key components here. One, 40 gig backplane. We've done a significant amount of testing and verification to ensure that we'll be able to deliver 40 gig to each and every node slot. We've done this as a result of ensuring that any aggressor signals that potentially could interfere with any neighbor routes don't have an adverse effect on the bit error rate that's actually delivered to each of the node slots. So we know for a fact, and we're very comfortable with stating publicly, that we'll be able to deliver 40 gig to every single node slot. Of course, when we go to market with a 40 gig platform with the chassis and the switch, we'll have existing node blades out there in the ecosystem upon which either equipment manufacturers already built an application, or the fact that there probably won't even be any 40 gig node blades out in the marketplace. So we have to be able to interoperate with the existing node blades, both because of their existing backplane connectivity, but also from an interwork thermal validation capability. And because Radisys is a platform provider, we will ensure that those existing node blades will actually work both thermally and from a connectivity perspective in the next generation chassis. But here's a little interesting backstory. Radisys, because of our position as a leadership position within the ATCA marketplace, we get visibility to silicon players' roadmaps way out in advance into what is actually available in the marketplace. What this means is those silicon guys have the same look at the video as we do. They know an onslaught is coming, they've prepared, but what they're giving us is higher power processors. That has a knock-on effect on the chassis that we've had to deliver higher power, higher cooling capability into our next generation platform. So finally, the last key component of our platform is our ecosystem. We put a lot of things in play with our existing ATCA 10 gig chassis. We're going to continue forward with a lot of those same software and hardware capabilities that were available to us as part of our ecosystem. And because we provide the entire platform, we will integrate and continue to validate all those key components. So those are the three major things that we took into consideration when we were building our ATCA 4.0 40 gig platform. So when you're looking at that next generation high bandwidth platform, be right now with Radisys.